Undercover CEO found a new cashier crying in the break room. What she said next shattered his heart. The day started like any other. The bustling morning crowd had just left, and the supermarket aisles were quiet for a brief moment. In the break room, however, there was a silence that felt heavier, almost suffocating. Sitting in the corner, with her head buried in her hands, was the new cashier, her shoulders trembling as tears rolled down her cheeks. She tried to wipe them away quickly, but when the door creaked open, she froze. Standing there was a man in his late 40s, wearing a simple blue store vest and a name tag that read, Sam. He wasn't just another employee, though no one here knew it yet. Sam was actually the CEO of the entire supermarket chain, working undercover to truly understand his employee struggles. The hook. "Are you okay?" Sam asked gently, his voice low but warm. The young woman, barely in her early 20s, looked up, her eyes red and swollen from crying. She tried to smile, but it was the kind of smile that only hides pain. "I'm fine," she muttered, forcing the words out, though her trembling hands told a different story. Something in her voice hit Sam in the chest. He'd seen employees stressed before, but there was something raw, something broken, about her tears. "Please," Sam said softly, pulling up a chair across from her. "I don't know what's wrong, but maybe I can help. You don't have to face it alone." The girl hesitated, biting her lip. Finally, she whispered, "It's just, everything's falling apart. And this job. I can't even afford to fail at this." The girl's struggle. Her name was Emily. She had only joined the store 2 weeks ago. On paper, she was just another cashier, quiet, hardworking, and polite with customers. But beneath the surface, her life was unraveling. Emily grew up fast, much faster than any child should. Her father had walked out when she was 12, and her mother, once full of life, had fallen ill just 2 months ago. Bills piled up. Medical costs, rent, utilities, everything weighed on Emily's shoulders. At just 21, she was the sole provider for her mother and younger brother. She'd taken this cashier job hoping it would be enough to keep them afloat. But last night, she had found a final eviction notice taped to their apartment door. And now, just hours into her shift, the weight of it all came crashing down. "I can't lose this job," she said, her voice shaking. "But I just don't know how much longer I can keep going like this." Sam's heart sank. As a CEO, he spent years looking at numbers, profits, and charts. But this was the reality behind every paycheck, behind every employee's smile. And it was hitting him harder than he ever expected. Sam's reflection. In his own life, Sam had built his empire from nothing. He remembered the days when he had slept in his car, eating instant noodles because he couldn't afford a meal. But somewhere along the journey of becoming successful, he'd forgotten how deeply real people's struggles were. Emily's tears were a mirror, reminding him of his younger self, hungry, scared, and alone. He decided, right then and there, that he couldn't just stand by and watch. The turning point. That day, Sam stayed by Emily's side, talking with her whenever he could. He encouraged her to keep going, promising her that good people don't stay down forever. "Life isn't fair," he told her quietly, "but people like you, people who fight for their family, they're the strongest people I know. You don't even realize how much strength you have." Emily blinked at him, confused. No manager had ever spoken to her like that. No one had ever looked at her as more than just the new cashier. Over the next few days, Sam kept an eye on her. He saw how hard she worked, how she always smiled at customers even when her eyes were still swollen from crying the night before. He saw her skip her breaks just to make sure the line moved faster. He saw her kindness, handing a lollipop to a crying toddler just to make them smile. The more he watched, the more he realized, Emily wasn't just an employee. She was the heartbeat of everything his company claimed to stand for: resilience, service, and heart. The reveal. At the end of the week, Sam decided it was time. The store manager called everyone to the break room, saying there was an important announcement. Emily sat in the corner, tired and unsure of what was happening. Then Sam walked to the front, removed his store vest, and introduced himself. "My name isn't Sam," he said with a gentle smile. "I'm actually Samuel Hayes, CEO of this entire supermarket chain. I've been working undercover to understand what our employees face every day. And I want to tell you all, Emily here taught me more in 1 week than I've learned in years of running this company." Gasps filled the room. Emily's jaw dropped as everyone turned to her. "Emily," Sam continued, his voice thick with emotion, "I saw how hard you work, even when life is crushing you. I saw your kindness to strangers, your dedication, and your strength. You reminded me why I started this business in the first place. So, I want to do something for you." Tears welled up in Emily's eyes as Sam handed her an envelope. Inside was a full scholarship for her younger brother, a check to cover all her mother's medical bills, and a letter offering her a full-time management training position with triple the salary. Emily sobbed, unable to find the words. She covered her mouth, shaking her head in disbelief. "Why?" she whispered. Sam smiled softly. "Because people like you deserve a chance to breathe. And because I never want to forget that behind every store, every register, there's a story like yours, real, raw, and worth fighting for." The final message. Emily's life changed that day. She moved her family into a safer home, her brother went back to school, and her mother's treatment finally began. She continued working at the supermarket, this time not as a cashier, but as someone who led with compassion, just like the CEO who believed in her. And Sam? He returned to his corporate office, but not as the same man. He started a program within his company, the heart of the team, to support employees facing tough times, offering them financial aid and mentorship. Emily's story became the first of many lives he helped change. In the end, the story wasn't just about a crying cashier or an undercover CEO, it was about the power of kindness. One conversation, one act of empathy, had changed 2 lives forever.